LSD. What do we know about this hallucinogenic drug?
I first dropped acid when I was 18. I was pretty jacked up on marijuana, so I decided to try it, and I dropped it.
Let's explore some LSD, myths, and facts. Since its discovery in 1943, many myths and rumors have spread about LSD. For example, mention a bad trip to someone and they think of
This is my happening and it freaks me out.
what should we believe about LSD? Take baseball legend Doc Ellis.
And the next thing I know, there I was out there, high as a Georgia pine, tripping on acid.
As the legend goes, on July 12, 1970, Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter while high on LSD.
I think people are intrigued by Doc Ellis and LSD because of the all-American game that is baseball. Doc actually admitted to participating in a baseball game while on LSD. That's out of the ordinary. What Doc claims is when he landed in San Diego, he took some LSD and then drove up to Los Angeles. He took some more acid at some point in time, woke up and was told by his friend that he was scheduled to pitch that day.
Could Doc Ellis really pitch a no-hitter while high on LSD? Hold that thought while we take a look at some other LSD myths. As the legend goes, if you trip more than 7 times on LSD, you can be legally declared insane.
The biggest legends about LSD is that people thought that they could fly on LSD. There's this mythology around LSD that you're unable to interact in the real world, and that you're seeing all of these hallucinations. But in my experience, that you're aware of what's going on around you. There are a lot of claims about Doc seeing Richard Nixon and other things.
In a 1960 LSD study, only 0.13% of test subjects exhibited any form of psychotic behavior. The LSD insanity myth was started to frighten teenagers as part of the war on drugs.
Without ever taking the drug again, you have the same reoccurrences. The people call them flashes or flashbacks.
The acid flashback has become a standard mantra in anti-drug messaging. Acid flashbacks could occur weeks or months after the original trip.
I've always thought that flashbacks is a funny term because to me it's just memories, Like an LSD flashback is just remembering what it was like to be tripping. How is that different than anything else in life?
The fact is, LSD has a short half-life of 3 to 4 hours. The entire dose is metabolized by the body within a day and excreted in the urine. Another big LSD myth was the rumor that Jimi Hendrix laced his headband with LSD, so he'd trip while performing.
Well, Doc was a big Jimi Hendrix fan, so he had this room in Pittsburgh. He called it the Dungeon, and it was like a room that had blackout curtains, and he would go into this room, take LSD, and just listen to Jimi Hendrix.
Once again, false. LSD is impossible to have an effect by seeping through the pores of your skin. Plus, it would have been easier for Hendrix to simply ingest the acid. So what about the LSD rumors about Doc Ellis pitching a no-hitter on LSD?
My personal opinion is yes, he was telling the truth. The reason why I think some people also believe that it's a legend is because the story came from Doc. It was a little self-aggrandizing, and so the primary source for the information is the person who benefits most from the legend. The majority of people who have taken LSD don't disclaim that or think that it's a legend. I think that the people who claim it's an urban legend are going on the rumors and the mythology that they've heard about LSD.
LSD carries a large stigma of dangerous outcomes perpetuated by misunderstandings and drug war propaganda from decades back.
We've seen some kids that have had prolonged psychosis. Some have had to go to state hospitals.
But all these misconceptions unfairly relegate a substance that has profound effects on the human psyche to the margins of society and science.
And right then, I hallucinated a fish that just came and swallowed the worm. And I said to myself, oh boy, this is it. This stuff is really as good as they say it is.